What is up, everybody? My name is Joey Musselman, and I'm starting this new YouTube channel I'm calling Game Sense. It's going to give you some good volleyball analytics conversations and also intros for tournaments. I'll probably do focus stories too on specific storylines or teams I think are really interesting. Um, but yeah, I think that I love men's beach out sand beach volleyball, and I want to be able to share this cool stuff with everyone. And yeah, so I'm making a channel to hopefully talk about this stuff, get everyone the stats, build a little bit of hype for something I think deserves the hype. Um, this video in particular is inspired by our good friend Travis Mowerder. Not really my friend, but we both went to FSU, so or he coaches there. So Travis, if you want to reach out. Um, Anywho, he did a really good video last year on the World Championships where he talked about pools before, storylines going into it, and I thought it was a really good format. I thought that I could do it for Elite 16s this year. I've built this whole data engine that's where it's going to fuel our slides that you're going to see here in a sec. But yeah, I think without further ado, let's get into it. Awesome. So the first thing we need to talk about here, because it's pretty main focus of the slides I'm about to show you, is that the FIVB rating of a team, like when they're seeded to go into a tournament, um, isn't a great indicator of how good the team is. What it is a good indicator is if the teams have been going to tournaments recently and if they have been doing marginally well at the tournaments. Um, so a good example there, you could see a team played in 12 total events, finished top 8 at each time. They would have a lot of points and a higher seed versus a team that's gone to 6 total events but won 3 of them. They would have a lower seed, even though they've won 3 events. Um, so yeah, like I said, the problem is that it values recent events and players actually going to events and quality over quantity. So the tool that I use to get hopefully a better idea of how well these teams are going to play up against each other is called Glicko 2. If you're familiar with chess, it's similar to ELO, but it's basically a number that measures how good a team is, and the number changes based on who you win and you beat. So if you lose or beat someone that is closer to your number, it's doesn't hurt you or help you as much, and if you beat a team that's higher or lower than your number, it helps you more or hurts you more. So being the underdog and getting the win gets you more points. Being the underdog and getting the loss doesn't hurt you that much. Um, yeah, so it measures actual skill, not just volume, used by a lot of other industries, and hopefully can help us get some good predictions. Why this is important is because the seeding at this tournament is a little bit all over the place, and this might help explain some of it. So you'll see Mole and Sorum are the number 5 seed, despite being potentially the number 1 team in the world right now. Crabb and Benesh, a newer partnership, but they did get a good win last week, so our Glicko actually rates them very high because they've been doing really well since they've been together. And then Dallas and IA, uh, we think that they're a little bit overrated right now. They don't have the historic wins over big teams to back this up, although they have been doing really well recently and they've been going to a lot of stuff. Congrats on the silver medal 2 weeks ago in Joao Pessoa. Just a great team to watch. It's funny that I'm underrating them here because I actually really like them, but stats don't lie. So, onto our power rankings. This is power rankings for the whole tournament, and I had it ordered here based on my Glicko ratings. So you'll see Crabb and Benesh way up there is a bit of an anomaly, just because, but since they've been together, they have cooked and done really well. So we need more information on them, but based on what we've seen, they're doing quite good. And a team I personally think is really awesome and fun to watch being from the States. We also got Gauthier-Rat and Rotar up there. Don't go to a lot of stuff, but do get good wins. I think did a crazy run all the way up to bronze, I believe, in the World Champs last year, so happy to see them out. Who else we got here? I haven't seen Losiak and Brill recently. I love that Polish team. See George and Sam on there with that +7. Also a team that doesn't go to a lot, but when they go to things, they get big wins. I believe beating Molen Sorum in Gstad last year was one of their bigger ones. So happy to see them in Brazil. And then Evans and Budinger there are a little bit underrated for everything else. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform. All right. On to qualifiers. So this is just everyone that's already in, and it's funny, this updated last night, so I had to switch my data. Crabb and Benesh were not in this, and they're in qualifiers. Or I just had bad data, I'm not sure. But here's our qualifier watch. There's going to be 8 teams that make it in from qualifiers, and here's who we should keep an eye out for, and why the heck weren't they ranked already? All in Pristauz, we got a new team there. They played really well. They look good. Looney and Immers, also dangerous Dutch team. I think that since Bormans and de Groot aren't playing, this Dutch team is getting a little bit more attention, which awesome for them. And they are certainly performing like it. Kradiger and Dillier, I'm surprised that they're not in already. They're always doing well with this stuff. I feel like you're always seeing their names, so expect them to see them there. This Norwegian team, I've never heard of them before, so looking forward to watching them. Looks like they got a pretty good Glicko rating here. Nikolaitis and Caricature are, I'm so sorry if I'm saying names wrong here, but Australian duo. Expect them to get in there and a lot of stuff. Shock and Shaw actually have not been performing very well recently. They didn't win either of the AVP qualifiers. So interesting to see them. And speaking of which, Setcher and Pickett there are who they lost to in the AVP qualifiers last weekend. So might get a little bit of rematch there. And then Dressler and Seltzer, don't know them very well, but let's see what we have here. So Pool A, nothing too interesting here. Expect Evandro and Arthur to kind of roll here. That Italian team just won a challenge event, so they are good. Their blocker is electric. And the Grimalt brothers, they're always around, so. But expect the Brazilians to roll here in Pool A. Pool B is interesting because Crabb and Benesh beat the younger Swedish duo in the last Elite 16, Andersson and Hölting Nilsson. So let's see how they deal with the big brothers. This is going to be a real test for Crabb and Benesh. Can they live up to their Glicko rating? And also here we've got Andre and Renato, which is another great Brazilian team. So this one could go a lot of different ways. Åhman and Hellvig sometimes perform poorly in pool play. I think we saw that last year in World Championships, I'm not sure. Not to say, obviously, number 2, potentially number 1 team in the world. I think I give it them number 1 over Sorum, but we'll talk more about that in a sec. Anyway, expect some good matches here. And yeah, here we go. We got Crabb and Benesh versus Andre and Renato. This is, they have a lot of head-to-heads, and a cool thing here, I built this system so that it not only detects when this team has played this team with those players, but when those players on a team have played any of these other players on the other team. So you can see here, Crabb and Crabb, when the brothers were playing last year, played against Andre and Renato, and the Crabbs won. And we've got Benesh and Partain played them, and they got the loss. Benesh and Partain, yeah, against them again. I think that data might be wrong. Not sure. I got to clean that up. Anyway, there's a little bit of history there. And then Crabb and Benesh and Åhman. So yeah, Åhman and Hellvig kind of beat the brakes off of Benesh and Partain when they were playing them. There's that one win in there. So expect to see some good stuff here from Crabb and Benesh. Excited to see what they can do. This one, the matchup to watch here is Hölting Nilsson and Andersson versus Rotar and Gauthier-Rat. Like I said, Hölting Nilsson and Andersson took a loss in the last 16 kind of early on, so they are susceptible, and Gauthier-Rat and Rotar are really good. I would like to see Evans and Budinger do well here, but there's some killers in this pool. And they've looked all right in AVP qualifiers, but they did lose to a younger team they weren't expecting to lose to in the first one, so... you know what? Prove it, Miles. And Chase, I'd love to see you do well. Pool D. Now, this is the pool of killers because all of these teams are nasty. Dallas and IA obviously been playing really well recently, but I think they're a little bit overranked at their number 4. Losiak and Brill. Losiak coming off an injury last year, made it all the way to gold at Hamburg. Historically, a really good team. Love to watch them play. So they'll challenge Dalbas and I and George and Samon are in this. Our most underranked team at the 16 seed. All of these would be nice. So we can go into a little bit of set history here. So Remy Dalbas Bassero has played Samon before with different partners, and the Brazilians won both of those. So Remy looking for his first win here. Hard to beat the Brazilians in Brazil. And then here we also have Poland winning both of these previous contacts. The first one, IA was not playing with them, but 2-0 both times. So excited to see these Brazilians or Polish teams play. I don't get to see them a lot. All right, here in Pool E, we got Smol and Sorum. Probably just going to roll through this. I love watching Hammerberg and Berger, but I just feel like they always underperform. So excited to see them keep putting some work here. But yeah, this appears closer than it is. It's a 5 versus an 8, but really Mol and Sorum are expected to kind of wash the floor with these guys, so we will see. Then here... Why did I put that so late? Just a little bonus one for you here. Yeah, we got Losiak versus and Brill versus George and Samon, and this is a team. Losiak and Brill have been together for a while, but George and Samon have played for different teams, and it looks like it's pretty split, so we will see how this goes. Alright, anyway, that is our video. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. I think I'm going to try to do one of these videos every day for all the Elite 16s whenever we get, like, new matchups. So I'll hopefully do one after qualifiers when we know pools are solid, just a quick recap, and then potentially daily ones at night. But we'll see. I'll definitely do one after the tournament. And yeah, thanks for coming along.